Death penalty and racism. If you pause here, you can see formal killings by the state have experienced swings in public support since it was first used in 1608. What does it look like globally? In 2016, 23 countries were known to have carried out judicial executions, a figure that doesn't include the estimated thousands of them in China, who treat data on the death penalty as a state secret. In 2016, 4 countries, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Pakistan, were responsible for 87% of the world's confirmed executions, with the United States ranking 7th globally. Capital punishment laws vary from state to state. Capital punishment is currently authorized in 31 states by the federal government and the U.S. military. Lethal injection is currently the primary method of execution in states that have capital punishment. Texas was the first state to use the method in 1982. In recent years, New Mexico, Illinois, Connecticut, and Maryland have legislatively abolished the death penalty, replacing it with a sentence of life imprisonment with no possibility for parole. The Nebraska legislature also abolished capital punishment in 2015, but it was reinstated by a statewide vote in 2016. Additionally, courts in Delaware recently ruled that the state's capital punishment law is unconstitutional. States across the country will continue to debate its fairness, reliability, and the cost of its being implemented. In 1981, Stanley Tookie Williams, co-founder of the notorious street gang the Crips, was convicted on charges of homicide and robbery and placed on death row at San Quentin Prison in California. After the first few years of his incarceration, he began to evolve from a dedicated gangster to an outspoken and prolific anti-violence activist and author whose works targeted inner-city youth with messages of hope and an insider's condemnation of thug life. With his formidable OG status, William was able to both relate to and reach an isolated population of youth who tend to join gangs and/or idolize their lifestyle, with a reality check based on his own well-documented experiences. One of his books, Life in Prison, earned him a nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize, as well as a fervent international following. Ignoring calls for clemency, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger signed the order of execution, and Tookie Williams was put to death by the state in 2005. Putting aside arguments on the morality and social cost benefits of the death penalty itself, did Tookie Williams die because of his race? 40% of American gang members are white, so what if a convicted white gang member found massive regret and redemption in prison, became a crusader for nonviolence, dedicated his time to at-risk youth outreach, and then earned a Nobel Peace Prize nomination in this process? Would he still have been killed? Would he have remained alive to continue his youth outreach techniques from prison? Contrary to what people may think, most of the people put on death row are white. A study done at Florida State University by Gary Kleck about racial discrimination in criminal sentencing found the death penalty has not been imposed in a fashion discriminatory towards blacks in the northern U.S., though this was not the case in the South. However, when the offender is black and the victim is white, the crimes are punished more severely than crimes involving other racial combinations. Luckily, research continues on this vital subject, as does the hope that basic social inequality can someday be achieved. Thank you for listening.